Everybody, this is Alex Lisowski with CoachMePlus here for webinar number 10. It is August 22nd, 2018. We're going to be going through our normal routine that we usually do, except this time we're going to go through the product review first, then our new features, and then we're going to go into our question and answer section. So, of course, we're going to be starting with our product review. We're going to go over monitoring fatigue levels using CoachMePlus in conjunction with sleep monitoring devices. And then into our new features of note system updates, quick adding multiple exercises, and then also plus minus reps in the program builder. After that, we're going to be moving into our question and answer section as well. So, of course, if you haven't been following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and also following our CoachMePlus Academy articles, you can find all of that through the respective sources in which they are. So the CoachMePlus Academy is available right on CoachMePlus.com, and of course, our social media, you can all find us by searching CoachMePlus right inside of that search box there to follow the latest and most relevant pieces of information relevant to you as a strength and conditioning coach, sports performance, personal trainer, all of the above. The first section here is going to be the product review section. So we're going to go over monitoring fatigue levels and integrating that style of collecting that using subjective questionnaires and tying that in with sleep monitoring devices. So for this specific example, we have our fatigue science information as well as our subjective questionnaire information on motivation to train, training load, and then also mood. So we're going to tie those in with hours of sleep coming from fatigue science, number of wake episodes, and then lastly the conclusionary number of average effectiveness. So we're going to take a look at that. If we pull up our CoachMePlus system right here, we can go straight into our reports section so we can check out exactly what we have. If we go to the measurement history advanced report, we can see our fatigue science data all right in here. So all you have to do is go in, select the date range you'd like, maybe for example, just the past week, select our athlete, and then maybe hours of sleep, average effectiveness, and wake episodes. If we pull that right up, we can see it right in our reporting system here in which we know we have data for everything that we have. It's all right in there. So now we can go in and create our visuals based off of that. To do that, we're going to go to Settings, Visualizations, Dashboard Layouts. So we're going to create the layout first. We're going to assign it to our groups, and then we're going to build out our dashboards. So when we create that layout, we're going to go to Create New Layout. We're going to call it Fatigue Monitoring and hit Create. So this is going to be on our individual basis. So we've successfully created our dashboard layout. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to assign that dashboard layout right to our Stallions group that we normally have. So we have our Stallions group. We have it all right in here, and then we're going to add that right onto the end here. When we do that, we successfully added our layout to our individual athletes. Inside of Build Visualization, this is where we can create those dashboards. The first dashboard we're going to create is a mixed history dashboard taking our RPE ratings versus our hours of sleep and wake episodes coming from fatigue science. So when we select that, we can create our first dashboard. So training load versus hours of sleep and wake episodes. So this is critical in creating visuals that tie in multiple different sources of information all in one graph. So like I mentioned, latest mixed history dashboard, latest number of values, 14, that's fine. And then we're going to add our chart plots. So the first one is always going to be the one in the back. So we're going to add our RPE, how hard was today's session. So we're going to add that right as a column. We're going to leave all of these alone. We don't want anything like that, any averages or stuff like that. And then we're going to add another type of chart plot here, in which it's a line of hours of sleep and also wake episodes. So when you do that, we're going to keep that as a line, hit save, and we're good to go. All we need to do is add that to our dashboard layout, and then we can see it right inside of the visual set. Edit fatigue monitoring, add in our first dashboard, make that half width, select the add button, and hit save. Once we do that, if we go into Athlete Central here, we will see that exact visual with the data that we already have inside of the system. Go to fatigue monitoring, and we are good to go. So of course you can see that on the individual basis. So that's successfully created training load versus hours of sleep and also wake episodes. Second one we're going to do is also a combination of the mixed history dashboard plot builder. So we're going to do hours of sleep versus our motivation to train. We're going to select create dashboard, and we're going to do that. Hours of sleep versus motivation to train. This will take our hours coming off that fatigue science and then also the motivation to train coming off of the subjective questionnaire. We're going to do that. Again, latest 14 values. Chart plot. We're going to add in hours of sleep as the column. Again, we're going to put that first so it appears in the back. And then after that, we're going to do motivation to train as a line. Do that, hit save, simple as that. We can go back in and we can add that to our dashboard layout. Once we do that, hours of sleep versus motivation to train, I'm going to put those next to each other, hit save, then we're going to check out exactly what we've done here. Go into our athlete, go into Cole, go over to that fatigue science or fatigue monitoring side, and then you can see those right there on one plot. The next type of plot we're going to do a couple of those as well, is going to be the moving average. So I'm going to take that of wake episodes to start with. Go into settings, visualization, build visualization, dashboard, create new dashboard, hours of sleep, 7-day moving average. And then with that, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the moving average dashboard. So we're going to add our field. We're going to wait for that up to load up. Hours of sleep. How many values? 7. Across 7 or number of values to show. Let's go 7 days. Moving average is going to be across another 7 days, and then that period is going to be the day. So you could select weeks, months, latest, whatever it is, and you can plot that as a line. Once we create that dashboard, again, we're going to go into dashboard layouts, add it to our fatigue monitoring layout, add that half width, select save, and then we can see that in Cole's profile here. Select Cole, go to fatigue monitoring, and then you can see the moving 7-day average over the last 7 plots. We're going to do a moving average dashboard on wake episodes now. So we're going to go to settings, visualizations, build visualization, create new dashboard, wake episodes, 7-day moving average. We're going to select our moving average dashboard right here. What's our field? We're going to wait for that to load up. We're going to select wake episodes. Latest number of values, 7. We're going to do our moving average over 7 days. Again, as a line, and hit save. Once we create our dashboard, add to our dashboard layout. Go to fatigue monitoring, hit edit. We have wake episodes, 7-day moving average. Add that to the layout. Hit save, and then navigate to Cole's profile. So we're going to select cold, go to fatigue monitoring tab that we have set up, and then we can see that dashboard in here as well. The fifth and final dashboard that we're going to do, we're going to create a dial dashboard. So when we do that, we're going to put 3 dials all next to each other for average effectiveness, hours of sleep, and motivation to train. So we're going to go to settings, visualizations, build visualization. We will select dashboard and create dashboard. We're just going to call this overall fatigue levels, latest dials, and we're going to add in our dial chart. So when we do this, we're going to go to average effectiveness, coming off of our fatigue science, minimum value 0 to 100, and then we can assign thresholds to that dial specifically. So let's say, for example, everything greater than or equal to 0 all the way up to 70 is going to be red. 70 to 80 is going to be yellow or orange. Let's do that. 80 to 85 is going to be yellow, as stated in this line. And then 85 and greater is going to be green. So that's our first plot, first dial chart that we've created. Second one we're going to do is hours of sleep. So we select our field. What's our minimum value? 0 is the minimum. And our max value, let's say it's 14. We're going to add a few thresholds. 0 to 5 is going to be red. 5 to 7 is going to be yellow. And 7 and greater is going to be green. So when we do that, we can add that right in. And then lastly, we're going to do our motivation to train. This is a 1 to 5 value. We're going to keep that as 0. Put that at 5 and set our thresholds. Red, yellow, green. 0, 1, and 2 are going to be red, even though there is no 0. 1 and 2 will be red. 3 is going to be yellow. And then 4 and 5 are going to be green. So when we do that, we've successfully saved our dial charts dashboard. We're going to go to dashboard layouts. We're going to select our fatigue monitoring, and then we're going to add our fatigue levels, latest dials dashboard full width right here. Save that, and then we can go check out what Cole's profile looks like now. Go to fatigue monitoring. And then we can see we've successfully built out a series of visuals to help us assess Cole's fatigue levels using the subjective questionnaire and sleep monitoring devices on the individual basis. If we wanted to do this on a group basis, we're going to move into doing that next. So on the group basis, we're going to create what we call an assessment table that will allow us to create a table of values for our athletes to use to monitor our athletes as a whole. First thing we're going to do to set that up is go to visualizations and go to our assessment layouts. So we're going to create a new table. We're going to select create. We're going to give it a name. And hit save. So we're going to need to add in there our assessments. So there's a series of them built right in here, but we're going to create our own. So we're going to go to assessments, create new assessment, and we're going to start with today's mood. Data value, the most simple. Add that name as our label. We're going to rate our mood in this one. Show value. It's just going to be today. And then we can add an icon if it's going onto a monitor. Let's give that a color. Red, yellow, green. 3 is going to be yellow. 1 and 2 are going to be red. 4 and 5 are going to be green. Hit save, and that's our first assessment. Our second assessment, we're going to take our mood, that same question, and do a trend based off of the past 7 days. So what that's going to allow us to do is select the trend assessment. When we do that, we can change that label rate your mood. We're going to select what our period's going to be, so the average off of the past 7 days. So what this is going to do is this is going to take the latest value, show us the difference between that value and the average of the past 7 days. Comparison method, we're going to take the difference. We're going to compare it against our previous values. We also have multiple options here as well on the group basis. We can exclude any value, and we can show the comparison value or the actual value. Number of decimals, and we're going to leave our icon. So with that, any decrease in mood, we're going to show that as red. If it stays the same, we're going to keep that as yellow. Anything positive, we're going to show as green. We're going to save that, and then we've successfully created our first trend assessment. Second thing we're going to do, again, is another today's, and it's going to be willingness to train. Coming right off of our subjective questionnaire, we're going to select data value, copy that down to the label, our motivation to train, show value, given an icon, and again on a 1 to 5 scale. So we're going to keep 3 as yellow, 4 and 5 as green, and 1 and 2 as red. Save that, and we're going to keep going. Next one we're going to do is we're going to do that same type of trend like we did for mood, but we're going to do that for willingness to train. Select our trend assessment, add our label, motivation to train. Time period, we're going to keep it as day. Calculation, we're going to have average over the past 7 days. Difference from that, compare against our previous own values. Display our comparison value, so it show you that plus minus whatever the change is. Add our thresholds in here. So anything negative direction is going to be red. Staying the same, it's going to be yellow. And anything positive is going to be green. Select save, and we've successfully created our willingness to train trend over the past 7 days, the difference between that. Fifth one we're going to do is our average effectiveness. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine the past 2 elements that we've used, but make it a little more complicated. So our average effectiveness, we're going to do that, and we're going to select trend assessment. So what essentially we're going to do is we want to show the average effectiveness, but we want it colored based off of the trend direction that it's going in. So we're going to copy that label down, add our average effectiveness field in, select day over the past 7 days average. We want to compare to the difference, compare against our previous values, but we're actually going to display our actual average effectiveness, but we're going to color based off of our comparison value, so if that makes sense. So anything negative direction is going to be red, anything as the same is going to be yellow, and then positive direction is going to be green. But it's going to show the actual value itself. So we're going to go negative as red, same as yellow, and positive as green. So we've successfully created our 5 assessments that we're going to be using in that assessment layout or that assessment table. When we do that, we're going to go back into our assessment layouts. We're going to go into our fatigue monitoring table and add in those assessments. So today's mood, mood trend, willingness to train, willingness to train trend, and average effectiveness, which is going to combine the 2 elements used previously. We're going to save that and add that to our group dashboard layout. So we go to dashboard layouts here, add to our Athlete Central default group dashboard, and our fatigue monitoring table. Let's add that in, hit save, and then we can see those changes reflected right inside of the CoachMePlus Athlete Central. When we do that, we go to our forwards, Cole here, we can see the exact numbers that he has. So his mood trend is in the positive direction. It's gone up 1 on average. Willingness to train is a green, but that's gone down since the previous time. So the last time he recorded this value was actually a 5, on average a 5 or above, based off of the past 7 days, and so on. So you have all these values right in here, right in a table in which either a few of your athletes or all of them can all be added at once. So the more athletes you have, the more this is going to populate. The next portion of the system we're going to go through are the new features. So there's a couple new things in notes. We're going to go into the program builder and check out the couple things there as well. So here we are back at our CoachMePlus homepage. We're going to go into Athlete Central. So when we do that, we can go into Cole's profile here, and we can go into the notes section. When we go into that notes section, we can add in a new note, and this is where the new features are. So we have our measured at date, which is brand new. So say, for example, you've been on a road trip the past couple days and you haven't been able to enter in a note, you can certainly do that. So maybe Cole injured his right wrist. You can add that in, give it whatever tags, allow whoever to view it, and hit save, and then it goes in for the previous day. If we add a new note, the other new feature here is our multiple related users. So we can do that. We can add our whole team, add a practice note. Practice went long today, light and lift for tomorrow. We can add that, add whatever tags, any users or roles, and hit save. So that not only goes for Cole, but it also goes for the other individual athletes that are in the related users. So you can see it right here as well. The other couple new features to the CoachMePlus system are going to be inside of the program builder. So if I go into my library here, I select programs, I'll be able to see all of my programs that I have, and I'm going to create one. I'm going to call it my program. Hit save, and start building out my program. When I do that, I can click add exercise to any circuit, and this is where the new feature comes into play. So anytime you see that dumbbell icon on the circuit, you can go in and you can select multiple exercises all at once to drop quickly into a circuit. Once you do that, it's going to update, and then you can go in and modify these. Makes it really fast and convenient to be able to add in a bunch of different exercises for you to be able to program quickly and on the fly. So when you do that, the other new feature is going to be right in here. So if you've ever been stuck clicking around, adding in 5 sets by 10 reps, there's an easier and faster way of doing that. You can now go in, maybe I need 10 by 5. I can quickly click those, hit save, and it updates right in there. Makes it really easy to use on mobile devices. So those are the new CoachMePlus features. If you have any questions and answers, we're going to be going over our question and answer section in just a minute here. If you are not a live viewer, you won't be able to access this section, but of course follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also follow our CoachMePlus Academy and check out the website. There's a lot of good content there for you to be able to use as a strength coach and also sports science, personal trainer, and so on. So all that content available, again, on CoachMePlus.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all other social media outlets for you to be able to keep up with all the latest sports science and sports performance news.